Hello? Can anyone around here speak basketball?
There it is.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
Trust in the side. Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
Miss my cue.
No worries. I am your host, Freddie Rivas. And who cue missing person are you?
I'm the producer. My name's Matt Duncan. Freddie, we're into March. How are you doing?
The Ides of March are here. I don't even know what that means, but we're doing good. I'm doing good. If you're just tuning in, people, we are a Raptors / NBA pod. Me and Matt are both entertainers and, comedians and podcasters and hardcore Raptors / NBA fans. And we have analysts on, we have comedians on. That's the vibe. Thanks for checking us out. If you want to help us more, Matt's going to let you know how to do that.
Yeah, if you're listening on one of the podcatchers right now, thank you very much. Hopefully you have subscribed. Hopefully you've made your life easy that way. If you could give us a rating, that would be great. I always do the call for the Apple rating, the Spotify, which now has ratings, which would be great. All it is a star rating. So give us something on there if you can. And as well, we really appreciate it. Go to the sonarnetwork.com. You can listen to us there. And our social media accounts like Instagram and Twitter have our link trees all set up if you want to head over to our Patreon or our website, dunkspodcast.com. We've got all the episodes there, all the seasons, the time capsule that is Confederacy of Dunks. So, yeah, thank you very much. And Freddie, let's talk what's coming up.
Let's do it. Matt, he hit all the major plugs. You're a pro. Always appreciated. Listen, memorize what Maddie said, do all those things, please. We really, really do appreciate it. But yeah, we just did a special episode, speaking of Patreon, and distributed this week for everyone else as well.
Yep.
But if you're a part of our Patreon, you kind of got it a little bit earlier.
Last week.
And it's the League Pass report. It's our third version. We cover different teams. Kind of like we watch a game that the Raptors aren't playing and we go in depth. So my team was actually the Brooklyn Nets, and Matt assigned that team to me before the Harden trade. So that was crazy.
And the tragic signing.
Tragic return. I saw, it was a wild time. Ibaka on the Bucks. And your team was the Grizzlies, and you ended up seeing like the game.
I saw the game. Yeah, I watched the 52 Ja Morant game. It was crazy. Definitely a top 5 game in the NBA this season, I'm sure. So, we get into all that. We even, talk a little Pirtle because, he had quite an interesting game there too. But it's been a lot of fun. We've done 6 teams now. We're going to keep going as long as we can. I guess, even through the playoffs, we'll try to keep going as long as the teams are still playing. And then we'll pick up again in the new season. So, yeah.
And what are our new assignments? Do you remember?
Yes, you got the Knicks and I got the Sixers.
Okay, Knicks and Sixers. That should be fun.
Yeah, that's next. And that'll be interesting because it'll be a lot closer to the playoffs when we do that one. And speaking of which, we do have 2 episodes coming out this week. We've got the episode you're listening to now, and we have the League Pass report that came out yesterday or the day before. And that's just going to hold you over because next week we are off. It is a rarity for us, but we do have to miss next week. So we've got a little bit of extra content pushed into this week. Hopefully it can tide you over until we come back the following week. We have to take the whole week off for St. Patrick's Day. It's just what we do here on the pod. Oh, yeah. We're both Irish.
St. Patrick's Station. Because that's where we get it done. 4-leaf clovers and just getting pissered. Matt, Mac does go hard, but I'm half Irish, it was, I just got lost there for a second. What was I going to say?
Threw you off.
We are missing next week. I'm moving from the High Park area to the Roselands area.
Yeah,
which
West
I don't really
Bend
know.
to Roselands.
West Bend to Roselands. I'll be near Scarlet Woods Golf Course. So catch me
Nice.
catching a bird on the course.
Oh, damn. Is that a place we can play, or you got to have a membership?
Oh, buddy, we can play. It's going to be great. We can play some golf and some Raptors gear. It'll be fun.
Nice.
But yeah, before we do move on to the pod, I just want to say, for those that listen to my other podcast with Catherine Niker, The Pickup, a WNBA podcast, you might be familiar. But if not, make sure you check it out this week. We covered a lot of subjects. We always do. The WNBA is wildly fascinating. There's always different kind of, activism and political stuff going on. But in particular, there's a really big event that, everyone needs to be aware of. So Brittany Griner is one of the best WNBA players in the league. She also plays in Russia. She has been detained, and there hasn't been a lot of explanation. It's clearly nefarious. Everyone in her life is very worried for her. Mm-hmm. So, if you see anything that's like Brittany Griner, boost it. Use your social media accounts. Be curious about it. Like, this needs to be a story that doesn't like fade away. Obviously, there's so much going on right now, but this is an innocent person. This is a Black woman. This is a queer person. This is someone who's not in a safe scenario. So, I'll just call everyone's attention to that and get involved in any way you can.
Yeah.
So that's my piece there. But very fun pod. We got Graham K from Jimmy Fallon and Colbert and Sheldon Alexander from Sportsnet and Ball on Blast. And we talk a lot of fun stuff. We talk recasting winning time, talk the experiment that is this Raptors season. We also talk real or legitimate contenders. And I noticed some stuff with the Nurse Barnes relationship. So we kind of just theorized there. It was a good pod. So with all that said, thank you so much. We do appreciate it. And let's get rolling here. Maddie, if you feel like we're good to go, just give me those sweet, delicious words. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's get going here on a very fun pod. It's a not great time in Raptors world, but it's always an interesting time. So without further ado, he's done the pod a bunch of times. Good friend, a longtime friend, hilarious dude. He's been on Colbert. He's been on Fallon. If those are incorrect, honestly, he'll let me know. And I mess a lot of things up. So whatever. He's hilarious, dude. You'll learn about what else he's got going on. Give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for Graham K.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been on Fallon, all right, baby.
Hey, nice cup. Yeah. I got a Little Miss Sunshine cup.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah. It's from those old kids' books.
I love those.
Monsieur Rapide. Sorry.
For me, je suis un garçon.
Yeah, I know. Like, just the basics, right? Like, let them know. Okay, let's bring on guest number 2 so we can get talking Raptors right away. I known him through the Raptors world, and for a little while now, he's just an awesome kind of Raptors personality, funny dude as well. He's working with Sportsnet right now. Also, the Ball on Blast network. And, I'm sure he's got a bunch of other stuff going on. He's a hustler. Give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for Sheldon Alexander.
Why does he get a better intro?
Well, you know what? I just said, I was like, I like yours. When his came, I was like, I don't know if I like this, but when the drums come in, you're like, wow, where are we going?
I like it. I approve.
Mine sounds like I'm going to fall downstairs in like a Mr. Bean comedy type show. I'm
Yeah.
just sweet and clown, and then I fall
Yeah,
downstairs.
Matt either gives you like full clown tripping into a garbage, or
Yeah.
like you're partying on a beach and there's like, people getting
Yeah.
high. Like I think those are the two like things
Yeah,
he'll
I
give you.
get. Yeah, yeah.
I like it.
What's up, Sheldon? Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate being on the pod. Always a good time talking raps. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Matty, good sir, why don't you give me your loudest, weirdest, non-Aaron Baines Raptors sting.
For the
Okay. Let's go to you first, Sheldon.
Okay.
And yeah, so this is like, I'm doing a podcast, right? So I'm really living Raptors day to day here. I'm not trying to blow anything out of proportion. Just kind of some body language stuff at the end of the game. During a huddle, Scottie and Nurse were kind of like chirping at each other a little bit. It was hard to tell if it's like just game plan stuff or whatever. And later in the game, it seemed like either Nurse was trying to call Scottie off the court or call him, toward like you wanted to talk to him or whatever. And yeah, there was this like noticeable moment where Scottie kind of like looked him off. There's no other way to say. He was just like, don't talk to me. And it just kind of got me going it just got me thinking about having a young superstar, reminds me of like a Vince or, AD with New Orleans, like just this idea where you kind of stumble upon the situation where you have someone who's sort of bigger than your franchise. And obviously there's tons of context here. We have a great culture, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it makes me think like, obviously we handled Kawhi for a season, Nurse, but it just kind of got me thinking like, what's the not worry meter, but like, what do you think about the Nurse Scottie relationship? Like, is he up for it? Is he handling it the right way? Am I just fabricating a question?
No, I think it's a very good question, especially in 2022 where someone named Ben Simmons and that whole James Harden thing exists.
Mm-hmm.
Like the point is that exists in the NBA. That's just a thing that happens.
Yeah.
But I will say that I love Nick Nurse going at these guys, like holding them accountable. And you kind of have to do that to have success as the Raptors, right? You're not going to be the Lakers where LeBron James just signs on your team. You're not going to be, I was going to say the Knicks, but nobody ever ends up signing with the Knicks. But my point is they're not a destination team, right? So you have to build the foundation. And how the Raptors have won a championship, how they've been consistently good for the 8 years since Dwayne Casey was pounding the rock. It's been through holding your guys accountable. You have these young players, and to get on the court, you have to play defense. You have to play hard. You have to do all the little things that make it difficult to be a good NBA player, right? Like if you think about it, everyone in the NBA is good. What separates it is consistency. Can you do the same things night in, night out consistently? And that's literally Nick Nurse's job, to hold these guys accountable and do that. And the thing, if you look at it from Scottie's perspective, whatever Scottie Barnes ends up being, the point is what he is now is he's the third guy, fourth guy, and he has to look up at Fred. He has to look up at Pascal, guys who won a chip being held accountable by Nick Nurse. And those guys watched Kawhi play defense. They watched, Kyle play defense. It's just, that's the organization. And I love that he's holding him accountable, because if you're Chris Boucher, if you're Justin Champagnie, if you're whatever other young guy, you can't say that, oh, that guy gets treated differently, because he's holding everyone accountable. I love it personally.
Yeah, I also should say that I like the accountability, and I feel like when we had Kawhi, it was a very special scenario. Like, I don't know if it was like top down orders, like, you can say some stuff to this guy, but you can't say everything you want to say. I also feel like, with Lowry and Nurse, there was sort of like kind of like more of an equal thing. But yeah, with Fred, with Pascal, Pascal's been benched. Nurse and Pascal fight. They're okay. Obviously, there's been trade rumors forever, but I think clearly Nurse is not afraid to get into it with people. And I totally agree. If you don't do that right away, the wrong precedent is set. And yeah, Scottie's not Kawhi yet, right? He's not Ben Simmons yet. And I think, I totally agree with you. I feel like the only way to navigate that is like the most honest and like pure way. And I guess that's what Nurse is doing. I do, however, worry that sometimes Nurse can go for, it seems like he can go for the jugular with players. Like it seems like he can be like really disappointed. Like I was like, what the hell when Scottie didn't contest that Luka shot. But I was also kind of like, what the hell when I read Nurse's lips out of that timeout. Like the rage for Scottie, I was like, wow, this is interesting. Like I wonder if that goes the other way too. Like I wonder if players if they freak out on you. I mean, it's so much as like, guesswork here, but yeah, Graham, weigh in here on like what we've said and like what you think the relationship should be.
Well, first off, I want to address what Sheldon said about no one ever signing with the Knicks. I mean, how dare you disrespect Evan Fournier that way?
Yep.
He's one of the
Kemba,
best.
You're right.
You're right. Yeah. Evan Fournier is one of the best actively balding players in the NBA.
I will say his haircut game, like his barber game, improved going to New York. So that for sure.
For sure.
You guys don't like the man bun ponytail?
I don't.
It's been a while.
Okay, you know what? That's a proper answer to that question. So carry on, Graham.
Yeah. Look, don't throw me off, okay? Look, so I don't know. I think that Nurse has. I mean, he got into a fist fight with Pascal last year, and it repaired that relationship repaired itself. I think I like that Scottie has an edge to him. When he was coming into the league, he was just like, I'm the nice guy. I'm always happy. I'm smiling all the time. And I was like, that's great but does he have an edge? Is he going to push back? And I love that they're big personalities. And I think that Nurse has proven that he can push people, but he can also ask for forgiveness or repair relationships, however he does that. I was trying to find a clip of when you gave us the questions before the show. I was trying to find a clip of it because I missed it when I watched the game. And what I came across was something from the last Brooklyn win we had, where he was like, I guess they got into it again, and Nurse addressed it in the press conference, and they're like, "What was with, it seemed like Scottie was angry at you."
Oh, I didn't. Wow, so this has been going on a bit.
I guess, yeah. And so, and Nurse was like, yeah, he just kind of chuckled, and he was like, he was pissed that I wasn't calling plays for him, and I was like, I love that. And Nurse loved it too. He was like, that's just hyper competitiveness. We're just both competitive guys, and blah blah blah. And I'm not gonna worry about it until I need to worry about it as a fan. I think that these are, there's certain dudes can yell at each other and then 2 minutes later are hugging each other. You know what I mean? Especially in the heat of competition. So I'm looking at it as a positive. I love that I get to see a fiery, competitive, angry, edgy part to Scottie Barnes. I think that's going to serve him so well in his career, in my opinion.
And I mean, great points. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sheldon.
No, I was just going to say the other side to this too, right? Because going along with what you're just talking about, Graham, with the Nurse clips the other day, he was talking about how like his point was, I don't need to call a play for you, Scottie. Like you can go get the ball, or you can, call out the play yourself where you get your sets. Like that was more so Nurse's point, which I get and I understand, but Nurse is looking at it as he's trying to give him more leeway. Right. And I don't think Scottie's really understanding that, but there's a whole other dynamic that goes on. And I hope this isn't too inside, but like I end up watching like all of the Raptors like post-game pressers, right? And I would always allude to, I call it sneak dissing, but I pay attention a lot to like Nurse and Fred VanVleet And I feel like there's a
yeah.
lot of sneak dissing that goes on where they're like,
Tons.
some of the guys got to pay attention and they got to know every night they got to bring the
Right.
same level of effort.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
and when Pascal came back, they made a point of being like, well, there's a hierarchy. And I think guys know where the shots are going to come. Like there's a lot of stuff being said. And even when Scottie plays well, Fred will be like, well, he's got to do that every night. Like they're hard on him. And I think that's needed.
Yeah.
I think that's good, right?
For
It's
sure.
lessons to be learned. So I like it all. And plus, I mean, it's kind of a kiss the ring type scenario, right? Like you got to respect it if you're Scottie. The ring's there. Fred did it, right? So that part I think is cool.
But I also love that, he's a pass first player. That's what they call him. And, we see that. I love that he's like, no, I want the ball. I want to score. And I'm just like, great.
Super
the whole
confident.
thing is great.
Yeah, I love sneak dissing because that explains exactly, in my opinion, what was going on last year in Tampa. There was a lot of Pascal sneak dissing, a lot of like Fred and or Nurse talking about the hardest workers on the team and not including Pascal. It's just little things like that, and or leaders, right? Like you hear Fred described as a leader, not so much Pascal. But I also feel like in a weird way, Pascal's like settling into like the guy that's awesome, but not the leader. But that's sort of a different thing altogether. But I wanted to just like, before we move on, touch on Graham's point there too. Like Scottie is a passer and, in this game, he started at point guard. So there's a whole like list of things that you need to accomplish there. And it's not just like the assist that leads to the bucket. It's like getting guys comfortable. And like, I think Boucher got the question and Nurse got the question in the post game about Scottie's passing in transition versus half court. And they danced around it, but they're both like, yeah, he's not that great in half court. Like that's where passing's hard. Yeah. And it's not to say it's easy in transition, but it's like, I think if you can dribble and keep your head up, I'm diminishing Scottie's incredible skill. So let me just like walk it back a bit. But like, you know what I mean? There's a difference between being able to really facilitate in the half court versus kind of like make an explosive, flashy pass to someone under the basket. But yeah, let's kind of keep going in this direction, because I feel like we're, this conversation can also include Scottie. But Graham, I want to stick with you and just like, it's clearly the Raptors are very clearly an experimental team. Perhaps the most experimental team in the league. I'm willing to, whatever, give it to another team if it fits. But we're the most international team in the NBA. We kind of don't have a center. We don't have a lot of shooters. It's weird. We're still not the bottom of the league either. Like we've had some high highs and kind of some low lows. So it's weird. But what do you like about this experiment like version of the Raptors, and what don't you like?
I like that they are understanding that there is a long-term goal here. It's not let's not get this work towards getting the 7th seed or maybe the 6th seed and then getting eliminated in the first round in 5 games. It's like, this is a sacrifice here. We're going to find out what we have, and we can't find out what we have unless we play everybody. And sure, we could get like a $5 million center or something like that, or a Decker. We could have kept Decker. He could have shot. We'd have more shooting, and But you want to see what you got. You want like guys like Delano Banton. Like there's like a lot of people. We're willing to take a sacrifice and to like one step back for 2 forward. I just think that you have to think also maybe this, I don't think it's going to work. I think that they're realizing that they can't just have all 6'8" people. They're going to have to get more shooting. They're going to have to get at least a center that they can keep on the bench in case they play like Embiid or the Cavs also, which is a very experimental team, by the way. The Cavs don't get enough credit for like, how about we have 4 centers in the small ball league? And then they're
great point.
Crushing people on the inside, crushed us on the inside. It was crazy just watching them like get offensive rebound after offensive rebound.
Like marking in at point.
Yeah.
Not really, but
a couple of times Markkanen dominated us, and I was like, "Ooh, we're gonna need a center. We're gonna have to get a center." So you just have to we're not a small market team, but we're not a free agent destination. You know, it's just like, I live in America. I'm Canadian. I can tell you that people are really scared of the weather. And by the way, it is way colder. We're used to it. We don't know how cold it is. It's crazy cold up in Toronto. Like, it's nuts. And so it's always going to be an issue, and they're going to have to go like, well, what if everyone's 6'8"? You know, will be the best. They'll be the biggest small ball league in the league. So I don't know. I think that they're smart, and I love that they're not getting pushed around by the bloggers and by 15-year-olds on Twitter telling them that they got to do this, do that. And it's like, this is an experiment year. This is what we're going to see who we have and then take it from there. We're above 500 on a macro level. That's awesome. That's it.
Dude, I mean, great points. Like, I totally agree with everything. And, you know, just as you were describing it, I was thinking, like, I do feel like, the main point is that, you know, this is a long-term project, and our front office is clearly patient, has proven that time and time again, you know. And I think this experiment of all these like same size guys, where we're seeing some of the, like, we're starting to see where the cracks are.
Yeah.
And I think you can fill those, but but you have to like let, you know, Champagne play, Banter play, Precious develop, whatever. Like, you need to those things actually just like they need the reps. And I just want to say, I'll go right back to, but like, to add to your point about like the experiment here and same size guys, like, I feel like on defense it's pretty natural in a switching league, but on offense, you even notice with a guy like Malachi, like, you need some nimbleness to penetrate defenses. Like, it can't be all 6'8" dribblers. And I think that's sort of an issue. Like, space is a problem on the other end. But sorry, just back to you. Yeah.
No, totally. It was fun to watch when Malachi got out there and finally got some run. It was like things opened up. But I just wanted to say one quick note in defense of Thad Young, of signing him, is in line with the theme of this year. He's not a shooter. He's another 6'8" guy who kind of does everything and can play D. We have a million of those. But he is 100 years old. He's been in the league forever. He's a veteran. He can teach people. So this is like a teaching year. So they got they're not trying to win. They're not trying to win 3 extra games and get eliminated. Like, who cares? Just let's get these guys better. And that's it. Yeah.
And, you know, I'm stealing this from Sean Woodley on Locked On, but already Precious has credited Young.
Oh, really?
With development. Yeah. He's like, that's why I'm playing well.
He's been playing awesome lately.
Because of Thaddeus. And it's like,
directly,
there you go. Like, mentorship. I totally get, like, you know, the flashy fun of transactions, but like, mentorship's real. Like, if you're a really young guy and we're one of the youngest teams, like, it matters to have a guy who's like, chill out, or why do you keep doing this, or whatever, you know, or like, you're reading this defense wrong. Sheldon, where are you on like the overall experiment? Like, what do you like, not like?
I totally agree with both of you guys. Like, I think both of you guys made great points. And I look at Masai and kind of his viewpoint on it. Obviously, we know now Giannis is his like dream, right? In terms of just that 6'9" guy that can kind of do it all. And you can tell the viewpoint from Masai's point of view is it's effort. So watch Giannis. Everything is effort and heart. And even if you stop him, he's going to keep going and coming to the basket and dunking it on you the next time. Even if he's missing free throws, doesn't matter. He's still going to the line, and like, it's all effort. And you can see from Masai, he's trying to draft a bunch of those dudes because he believes in defense first. And being those 6'9" guys, you can switch everything on defense. Exactly what you said, Freddie, right? It works perfectly. You switch everything on defense, and you're going to be a tough team to play. In the NBA, if you play defense every night, hard, you can be pretty close to a 500 team with just effort playing defense. Now, the offense that you're alluding to, Freddie, it's so true. There's no spacing. And when they drafted Scottie, my initial reaction was, oh, okay, well, I don't really know how you can play Scottie, OG, and Pascal all at the same time. Like, that's not enough spacing. But really what we should have taken from it is Masai telling you, I'm just in the bag of asset management. Meaning I'm just getting the best player available and we can figure it out later. Nurse is the evil genius that will figure out how to get the right matchups, how to like pull the strings and get the guys in the right position, put them in the best position to win. But you just take the best player, and having all these 6'9" guys, yeah, the spacing sucks. It doesn't work, but that's why the defense becomes so important. And that's why you're hard on Scottie Barnes, because it's going to be easier for you to score getting out in transition. And how do you do that? Turnovers, defense, playing hard. Like, it's all intertwined into the same thing. And that's the beauty of the plan that they've been putting together. And I think when you look at, again, the offensive side of things, there's no point guard, there's no center, and Scottie has basically had to play both positions at different points of the year. And that's just a great learning experience, right? And it's just a positive thing because you're rebuilding. If you're not winning the championship, you're rebuilding, right? So that's what the Raps are doing. You're getting the best players available. And I like the direction that they're going in. Like, things will play out as they will. I feel as if Scottie, at certain points, I think, did he pass OG here in terms of value? I don't know, but it's closer than we would have thought before the season started. So all these things will play out, right? Like, will Pascal still be the man, right? Like, you look up and we forget he's making 30+ mil a year, right? And it's like, oh, okay. Well, how does that look 2 years from now? Where's Scottie at 2 years from now? Who knows? But Masai's put us in a position where, and I say us, I'm saying collective Raptors fan base.
I said us too.
Yeah, well, we can say us. Come on.
Okay.
We're nerds.
We're in the trenches here.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Thank you. I appreciate the backup.
We've
boys.
all
I
had
appreciate
sort
it.
of shawarma,
More of an Osmos guy. No, I'm joking. But I just look at it and I love what Masai's doing. I just think it works. You're taking the best guys available for the modern NBA of being able to switch everything on defense. Let's go. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, and lots of good points there too. I feel like this is, quite literally a year where we're letting Scottie grow into his position, and yeah, he's probably taller than 6'7". I don't know how tall he is now, but
They say he grew an inch.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
To me, he's honestly looking more like a center than a point guard.
Well,
But that's a wild problem to have. That's not really a problem even. And yeah, I think that's always obviously going to change too. And really good point too on Siakam, because I feel like that might be the next major crossroads, right? It's the next Siakam Van Vliet contracts in, I think, 2.5 years. So like that sort of will be like, in my opinion, for Scottie anyways, it's just, he'll just get the max, and like, we'll only really have to worry about structure with him in like 8 years. Cause he'll just if he's one of those rookies that ends up forcing his way out, he'll make sure he gets the super max first. Right. I think that's generally how it goes for like Davis and Simmons. So I feel like in that sense, there's a chance Fred and Pascal will be like well into their 30s. So we'll see what the dynamic is there. But yeah, overall, it's been really fun for me. Like, I feel like I hope they get some really good competition at the end of the year. But similar to what Graham was saying, like, where we end doesn't matter too much to me.
Yeah.
Like,
and would you guys would you guys agree that this year so far has surpassed your expectations, right? Like, it's kind of like a house money year, no? Like,
Yeah,
for sure.
Thought if you're in the play-in tournament battling for that, okay, cool. Scottie's come in and been way better than most people would have anticipated. So that's kind of a bonus. And that's kind of made some of these conversations even pop up. Like, would we even be thinking that, hey, we're debating who's the man, or, when's Scottie going to take over them as being the guy on the team? Like, all of these things we never really thought would come to fruition so quickly. But here we are, as he's on the cusp of winning Rookie of the Year, maybe, or co-rook, whatever. But he's up there. He's up there is the point.
And I feel like I wanted to add, when, all that stuff was happening, like, there was also a head-to-head with Mobley, right? So there's that, like, going back to what you were saying, Graham, like, you like to see this, like, yeah, he's a genial guy off the court. And then on the court, it's like, Scottie's pretty fierce. And like, he's pretty intense. And when there's like 3 minutes to go in the game, he'll very comfortably be like, I'm taking the shot, not you, Pascal, which is pretty nuts when you think about, like,
and I think he's right.
Like,
I'd rather him
too.
I outside of that all-star competition, I'd rather him be taking a little bunny in tight than Pascal. Pascal seems. I love Pascal. I think I'm so proud of Pascal this year, but he does miss a lot of little bunnies in the last 2 minutes of a game.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well, yes, he's all finesse and Scottie's force, right? Scottie's like, I can like will a bucket. Like, you know, dudes just back down like, you know, Vucevic and Capella and like just like strength wise, he's already done stuff that I feel like only maybe OG could do. Like, I'm not sure on, or Precious, I guess. But I mean, Precious is still a ways away from like combining the strength and the like hands.
Scottie plays like a 19-year-old old man at the YMCA. He's just like an athletic old man. Hey, he's got these like baby hook shots that are flat and they go straight in. You're like, all right.
I know, and he always gets this like so many of his shots are like, I'll miss first and then I'll get my rebound and put it in. I'm like, okay, dude.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to some NBA stuff. And Maddie, make sure to bring yourself in. But first things first, give me that NBA Adam Silver foghorn thing. Sting.
This is Adam Silver.
Adam Convoy Silver. I can't get that out of my head now. Every like the past two podcasts, every guest is like, is that a convoy sound? No, it's not. We're in that situation where we made a sound a long time ago, got taken from us. You know, we gotta
anti-vaxxers here.
Big anti-vax crew. Like, let's rock. Okay, this is good. This is good because we're getting silly. So I haven't seen it yet, so I'm probably gonna have the worst answer. But winning time is happening. Just a little, I guess, like inside entertainment. Like, you know, I'm trying to make an inside baseball joke, but a weird thing that happened with this is like it seemed like this was sort of the straw that broke the back of Adam McKay and Will Ferrell's relationship. Like, they, you know, since Saturday Night Live, they've been producing and working together on like, you know, major hits we all love. And Will Ferrell, I guess, really wanted to be Jerry Buss, and they was not cast as Adam McKay casted John C. Reilly. And apparently like that was it for their friendship.
Really?
Yeah. This they don't work together. This was like massive deal.
They both produced Succession too.
Yeah, and Adam McKay wrote a big thing about it, how he's tried to like apologize to Will Ferrell, but like, Will Ferrell's a pretty hardcore, you know, Lakers fan, and I guess this is sort of a dream project, perhaps. But I mean,
and John C. Reilly is a friend of Will Ferrell too.
And he looks like Jerry Buss. Like, to me, it's a kind of a great casting, which adds to the whole thing.
Who looks like Jerry Buss?
John C. Reilly, I think, like, or he looks enough like him. But I guess it's like young version. So, but anyways, that just got me thinking like, this is obviously very star-studded. If you haven't seen it, I say just pick someone who you know is famous from the Lakers era that will likely feature in this, whether it be a player or management or coach or whatever. And tell me your casting for it. So who wants to go first here? Sheldon? What's up?
Yeah, sure. I think going back to that era, a young Jeannie Buss should be played by Jennifer Lawrence. I could see that. I would like that.
Oh, yeah. I see that.
And kind of going off the board here, and follow me for a second here. But I feel like Michael B. Jordan should just be in any basketball project that goes on. Like, if you're named Michael Jordan, right? Because we know. You just any basketball project that pops up that comes across his agent's desk, he should just have to say yes to. Those are the rules.
Do you know what the B stands for?
Made them up. Basketball.
That's right.
No? Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. Is it okay? Is this just funny jokes? Because I'm in a gullible zone. So I'm like, is it basketball? Because I'm sick. I have no idea. Because sometimes celebrities are weird, man. Like, I don't know.
He's trying to get away from Michael Jordan, but his middle name is basketball. It's been tough.
He's really mixed messages here, boss. Yeah, no, I for sure bring in Michael B. Jordan. I mean, like maybe there's just a part of the like you're mixing worlds, and he throws in like a Where Wallace at sort of thing, like, but he's a ghost. Some wire spoilers there, but
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Yeah, so just a really like I guess a dark storyline in your idea. So maybe we can omit that. Graham, what's up? Who are you gonna cast?
Okay, so Larry Bird. I think they casted a good guy for Larry Bird. He's kind of an unknown. I did some research on this. He actually had a project in Hollywood that he's trying to get made about Larry Bird, and he ended up getting cast in this.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and he's like from Massachusetts. He's like 6'4". He looks kind of like Larry Bird, but I would choose the actor Paul Dano. Or Dano, I don't know how to say his name. He's the guy who plays the Riddler in the new Batman movie.
Yes.
He's a tall, lanky, weird-looking guy. And, I think if with just a gross mustache, he would fit in just beautifully.
Great pick.
That's a great pick, yeah. And like Daniel Day-Lewis can like slap him around sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm just bringing in other movies. Sorry.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay, sorry, I don't know what I'm
crying.
Yeah, he starts to cry. Yeah, come on. Oil's everywhere. Okay, Maddie, what's up? Who's your like recast?
Okay, so I have watched it, and there were like I don't know how much of it is fiction because they say they mix some in. Is it true that the Buses bought the Lakers for $67 million? Like that seems nuts.
I mean, probably they bought it in like the 60s or something.
79.
Right?
He bought it in like in 79. But
inflation, baby.
What also like they're they insinuate that the NBA was kind of like maybe gonna be on its way out. Like, I didn't know that.
It was in a delicate place before in and after the ABA merger and before David Stern.
Or Jordan.
It definitely the some of the old NBA stories is like there's championships and stuff that like weren't televised live and it's crazy.
Like before Bird and Magic, it was like televised or was tape delayed NBA finals, right? So
exactly,
right.
Which sounds
they
crazy.
It was like up until the mid 80s, late 80s, Bird and Magic specifically, and then Jordan. In terms of ratings and popularity in America, it was at the same level as hockey, and maybe even and which is like crazy, or even below it. Like they were both sort of these, borderline popular sports.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's nuts. Well, to get back to what my picks are, I'm going to recast the two Jerrys, but I think they're cast very well. I like John C. Reilly as Jerry Buss, and I don't know who the other guy is.
Who we going? Seinfeld? D?
Huh?
Sorry, I thought you were adding two Jerrys. I was just making a joke. Jerry D joke. So sorry.
You're throwing me off. No, the other guy who plays Jerry West, I think is a bit unknown, but he's great. Very angry about the Magic Johnson pick. That's pretty much his motivation through episode 1, which was hilarious. But if I want to make it a little more crusty, he might be a little too old, but I feel like if you know who Stacy Keach is, I would put him as Jerry Buss.
Never heard the name.
You'd know him if you saw him. He's a bit of a mean looking bugger, but he would be. I think he would be good. But I can see him, with the whole Playboy Mansion stuff. John C. Reilly just seems to like not as creepy as I think it really was.
Oh, okay. I know Stacy Keach. He's kind of like Nick Offerman.
A young Stacy Keach.
Young Stacy Keach. And, I want to crust up Jerry West a little bit. Let's bring in Sean Penn. I just think put him in that role, give him the haircut. And he'd be a nightmare.
Okay, so mine is for sure the worst. Just gonna go for it. Andy Serkis as the ball.
The ball.
That's all I got. Andy Serkis has the ball. He'd animate it somehow, like he'd piss everyone off, like be totally unnecessary. And the guy who played Greg in Succession, I don't know who he is, but like just he needs to get posterized. Like I need to see that guy be like like have a screen and be unaware and like just be a bit late to, a contest and just get absolutely posterized. That's it. That's it for me. Andy Serkis has the ball. Greg getting dunked on.
Love it. Greg the Egg.
Okay. What's that? Greg the Egg, man. Okay, yeah. Let's wrap this up and let's go to you first, Graham, for the last question here. Well, there's a little bonus question, but my last question. And this is maybe just give me your number and then we'll go to Sheldon and we'll see where we're at. How many legit contenders do you have?
Legit contenders
that can win the championship, sort of thing.
I have 6.
6? Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Sheldon? How many legit can win a championship contenders do you have?
That's amazing because I said 5 to 6, but I could get up to 10 and I'd be stunned for a couple of them, but I could at the same time understand. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I know I know. I was like, I'm building so many cases in my head for like who could maybe win a championship because I feel like we're still in the era of like a parity league where likely the healthiest team is going to win this. So I have just looking at it now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8.
Okay.
So I wonder if I should list mine. And then, we'll just go from there. Maybe like you can jump on like either you guys feel free to jump on the one that you feel like is not a contender. Maybe. Okay. So I'll start with the East. So I have Miami, which for me is actually a little bit of a stretch. Like I think that Miami needs absolutely everything to go right.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're a fine-tuned, well-oiled machine.
They just got Oladipo back. He looks all right.
Yeah, that's big for me too. Like I feel like they just got Oladipo back. They have a lot of depth, but I still, I mean, I'm not all the way on them. For me, I can't believe this is so simple, but I think for sure Philadelphia. I'm curious if either of you guys are like no, but I think for me it's for sure Philly, for sure Milwaukee. And the last team I have in the Eastern Conference, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, this might be the first one, is the Boston Celtics. I think are a legit championship contender.
Wow.
I'm curious, was Boston on both of your guys' lists? Or is this the first team where you're like, Freddie, what are you talking about?
So for me in the East, the Celtics and Sixers were kind of my like stretches to win the East. Like I had the Heat, Bucks, and Nets as like my legit contenders, and I'm just a Sixers hater to just through and through. So
fun team to hate, man.
Yeah, that's where that comes from. And the Celtics, it's like the teams that I was describing as I'd be stunned, but I'd understand. Like they're just playing hot right now. They figured things out. They figured out their squad. Yeah,
and I feel like, Tatum's a big game guy. I also really, really like Brown. I think he's one of these players that, like, I sort of because of Tatum, people don't talk about enough. But, he's always referred to as a number 2. And I don't know if he's like a potential number 1, but I just like, if he was my number 2, I'd be like, let's rock. This guy's awesome. Maybe that's because the Raptors Celtics playoffs. Let's just I want to ask you this, Graham, and then maybe you can tell us your East. Did you have the Nets as well?
Yeah, no, I don't understand why no one's talking about the Nets. They're like, well, they suck. It's like they're none of their team is playing.
Yeah,
they have superstars, and when they all get to, by the way, they're lifting mask mandates here. I'm in Brooklyn right now, and so guess what? Kyrie's gonna be back. He looks incredible. I mean, I hate the guy, but he looks incredible. And
it's amazing.
And it's just like all you need is those two. Who cares if Doofus comes back and is good or not? He's probably going to be at least amazing at defense and can pass. He doesn't have to score anymore. So it's like they're going to be an absolute juggernaut. I mean, they could literally not make the playoffs, or they could win the championship. Like that was my only thing. It's like I feel like I would love it if we saw this to me is going to like make the play-in amazing, right? Like if the Nets legitimately
can like win a championship out of a play-in, I both won't be surprised and will be surprised. Like, and I just feel like there's sort of things needed to start coming together like 2 weeks ago. That's kind of where I'm at with Brooklyn. Like, I feel like the trajectory where everything's humming
doesn't matter. They're
is
injured.
really tight.
So,
yeah, they're injured. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So
they're gonna not be injured. They're gonna have 5 games and it'll be fine because they're better than everybody. They have 2 players that are better than everybody else. I mean, I think too clear for me in the East, talent wise, is the Nets when they're healthy, and then who are going to be healthy and are going to legally be allowed to play by the time the playoffs start. So it's gonna be nuts. And Philly, I think Embiid is a legit MVP. And then Fatso was an MVP like 3 years ago. He's awesome, and he slimmed down. He lost like 20 pounds over the weekend. I don't know how he did it. Yeah, and he looks awesome. And it was
emotional weight. He didn't like the 3-ring circus in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think you guys are right, and that was just my reasoning for Brooklyn. Is there any other teams in the East? So, Graham, why don't you take us from East to West? Like, is there any other teams in the East that we haven't talked about who you think are contenders? And then Sheldon too, if there's anyone as well.
I mean, Milwaukee. I think Miami.
Yeah, for me, Milwaukee for sure.
I don't know why I don't trust Miami. I do think our boy's a little too old. Kyle, I think his stat line last game, he played 32 minutes. He had 0 points. It's like
classic Kyle. He probably had a bunch of charges, you know?
I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's the Bucks, the Nets, and the 76ers. I mean, if Miami wins it, I wouldn't be shocked. Bam is that good. But like, I just don't see it. And I think West is Phoenix. Obviously, I can't they're just humming along even with all these injuries.
Oh, Phoenix is on a revenge tour. Like, I think we'll see if they actually can win a championship. But they're wrecking the league. You know. Yeah,
I love what they're doing. I think that. I mean, I think Warriors because they're going to get healthy, and then Denver, even though they're in 6th, I think.
Me too.
I think Denver looks red. I have not a lot of faith in Utah. They get exposed every playoffs. Gobert can't play playoff basketball. Yeah. He's a great regular season player, and then there's no half court offense there. I don't see it. So I don't know. I think Memphis is a great story. They're going to run into some trouble with a bogged down playoff style basketball. I think that's it. I think everyone else is a pretender. I mean, Denver doesn't even. I mean, their second best player is still out. I don't know. Do we know what his timeline is, Murray?
I think
seems like he's come back soon. But
yeah, they anticipate he'll be back. It's a matter of like how good he'll be.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I mean, to me in the West, it's the Suns. I think the Suns are just like the perfectly built playoff team to win. They got vets, they got young guys, they got 3-and-D guys, they got a big guy in the middle. And after that, it's a bunch of teams where you need some things to fall your way. Like the Warriors need Draymond to be healthy. And if he is, cool, they got a shot. If not, probably
he's coming back with just enough time to get his feet wet, get the motor running.
And the Nuggets are so intriguing to me. If they get, because there's some talk that even Michael Porter Jr. could come back. And I mean, if there's a world where he comes back and Jamal Murray comes back and they're the 6th seed, you don't want to play them with the MVP. In the short time that we watched them play last year with all 4 of those guys, including adding in Aaron Gordon, that was one of the best teams in the league. So, and I mean, I'm going to lob this grenade at you guys, but like the Lakers, would you really like if Anthony Davis, and listen, I'm saying this, I don't think the Lakers are that good. I think Anthony Davis is a fraud, but still at some point, if he decided to, I don't know, come back and drop 30 and 15s in the playoffs, like he should be doing, like, would you really be that stunned if the Lakers made a run?
If they were healthy, I would. No, not at all.
And
No, no,
that's
no.
Yeah,
still
I think about
crazy.
the Lakers like
Yeah.
like for me, I have the Lakers in the Nets place, like a worse version of the
Oh,
Nets. But like,
okay.
yeah, like I
Mhm.
mean, like I think the Nets, there's more obvious symmetry there,
Mhm.
and but I think there's some stuff there with Simmons and Westbrook where like they both have some playoff stuff where it's like, okay, is it going to be the same problem or are
Yeah.
they going to like whatever? But yeah. I feel like I'm with your guys' West picks too. The two, okay. I'm kind of curious. Like, I feel like, are we all sort of in agreement on Dallas, Memphis, and Chicago? Like good teams
So
that have had good seasons, but maybe don't really have a legit shot at a
Yes,
championship?
yeah. So I was
Yeah.
just talking about this the other day. The Bulls record, I'm not sure exactly what it is after they lost last night, but I'm pretty sure their record, like whatever their record is against teams that are 500 and above, they're like 10 and 18 or something like that.
Huh.
Right?
Right.
So
Wow.
they just don't play well against good teams. Memphis, I think, just needs a little more seasoning. Like they're almost there, like they're a good team and you
Yeah.
see them coming, right? Like even from last year to this year, you're seeing the progression. So that's just going to continue. This will be
They have a top 5
hey,
player in the NBA.
yeah.
So you never know what can happen.
Dallas, they need more than Luka, right? And Luka, he'll give you some moments, but I don't know if there's enough behind Luka, if Dinwiddie's enough to just help with the scoring, right? And
Yeah.
I don't think they're a serious contender yet.
It's
Dwight
the
Powell,
same
catch and
story
love.
every year with them. They're gonna drive someone crazy in the playoffs. Luka's gonna go off. They're gonna take him to 6-7 games, and the 7th game they're gonna lose by 25 points, and that's every single time.
That's pretty bang on.
Yeah.
And I'll just like I'm with you, Graham, on the Utah thing. I feel like they're that classic like they can't transfer things to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wonder if it's like it's like if we're at that place in the league right now where it's kind of like they might get healthy and it's their turn.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I do. They were like, I included them in my 8, but they were like mega stretch for that reason. Like, I think they would need perhaps some injuries or like Draymond can't figure it out or what have you.
I think it'd be hilarious if the Utah won the championship. I would
love it so much, and it would make my prediction. By the way, I bet on Utah to win the championship, so it actually wins some money.
Wow.
Okay.
You have a problem.
Yeah.
You need help.
It was a dark bet. But hey, I also bet on the Raptors over, which I'm like, I'm like basically, as long as they don't lose the rest of the games, which maybe
could happen. It could happen.
Honestly, it looks like it's in play. But I got that. Suggs rookie of the year, a little bit embarrassing. But and OG most improved. Those are the best.
Suggs does look better.
He looks better, yeah. But
not as good as our boy Scottie, but he looks better.
He's not in the convo. But okay, let me just give you one friend of the pod quickish question, and Maddie, I want you to answer this as well. This is coming from Jay Rosales, from the Raptors HQ, and he was curious about. So there's a Graham, you're in the States, so I'm sure you're not watching any Canadian TV. And if you're in Canada and you're also not watching Canadian TV, also I understand.
Yeah.
But okay, what is it called? There's a show right now. Sorry, I'm looking for the exact question. I think it's called Laugh Out Loud.
Yeah, the Jay Baruchel.
Yes, the Jay Baruchel show. Okay. So here's what Jay's asking. To Matt and whoever the guests are. Who would laugh last among us if we were on a show? And for listeners who don't know the show, it's comedians like kind of bombing in front of each other because you're not supposed to laugh. But also it gets really weird, and it's sort of like when you're like just like drunk with friends and being stupid. So sometimes it gets pretty funny. But who among us would be the last to laugh? Maybe we'll each. Graham, give me an order 1 through 4. Of us 4 on the show. That's how we'll do it. Yeah.
I feel like Maddie would be tough to crack. I don't know you that well, Maddie.
Oh yeah. Unless it's a snowblower joke, you're toast.
Yeah. I got him right there. Jeez, I don't know. That snowblower seemed like a softball, almost crushed. So I'm Yeah.
I would have to be very committed. Like I have to be thinking about it all the time. So it'd be hard to be able to like they're trying to tell jokes and stuff, right? And
Yeah.
imagine what Tom Green's doing.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I'll just answer. I'd go first. I'm too immature. I'd laugh at like something intentionally funny or unintentionally funny or like a poster on a wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a good character trait if you're a laugher, honestly. I think-
for sure. If you,
yeah.
I know if you pride yourself on not being a laugher, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
you're holding a lot in, sir.
Yeah.
Um,
You're no fun.
Sheldon, who's like, among us, who's where'd you put yourself? You know, are you?
I don't know. I feel like I'd fall somewhere in the middle just because like I don't feel like I'd laugh at the most obvious joke, but there might be something super random that would just catch me off guard. That's what I feel like. So somewhere in the middle, somewhere safe in the middle, not first, but not last.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good read on yourself from what I know.
Mhm.
But guys, that's it. We made it to the end of the pod. Thank you all so much. Thanks to everyone who's been listening, and the show's been growing a lot recently. So thank you. Thanks for sharing it or rating or subscribing, whatever you're doing. Keep doing it. Graham, what's going on? Obviously the people in Brooklyn, but you're Canadian too. You got albums. Well, what do you want people to consume?
Well, I want you to follow me on Instagram, Mr. Graham K. Graham is spelled like the cracker, Kay. I have a comedy special on Crave. If you're in Canada, you can check that out. If you live outside of Canada, it is on YouTube for free. Also, I'm going to be going on tour opening for my friend Nate Bergazzi all over North America, including Canada. You can find tickets at grahamk.com. Yeah, that's it. I appreciate any support.
Hell yeah. Well, you're a hilarious dude. You deserve the support. And man, catch Graham on this tour. He's an amazing comedian. And you won't be disappointed. You hear that?
We're doing theaters, by the way.
You do theaters,
fun.
maybe.
Yeah.
Soft theaters,
Like
you
it.
know?
Oh yeah.
What's up, Sheldon? Well, what do you want people to know? Where can they check you out?
So I guess wrapping up the Raptors season here on Sportsnet. So doing a lot of stuff there with the pregame show and the openings there, working behind the scenes. And then we got a couple other side projects going here. We got the DRF Sports podcast going, which is more of like a gambling take. We switched over from a pretty good NFL season to now talking a lot of NBA, and obviously March Madness is here. So check that out, DRF Sports. And you can follow me on Instagram, Sheldon Alexander. Twitter, it's Shell Alexander. Yeah, tons of fun stuff going on.
Hell
Keep 'em
yeah.
busy.
Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. And that's it for the pod. Matt, if you feel like we're done, we're good to go. Give me those words I crave so much. Okay.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.